Okay, my friends. So the problem, well, we're stuck in a room. That's a huge problem. But we're not going to run out of oxygen for two reasons. A purely mathematical one, which you just saw, we can never get below 16%. But there's also a more pragmatic one that has to do with, I guess, chemistry, which is, well, let's clip over to this next little tab. This tab keeps track of how much carbon dioxide is in the room. Now, remember, when we breathe in, we take in oxygen. We also take in whatever carbon dioxide's in the room. And when we breathe out oxygen. And we also breathe out carbon dioxide. But we breathe out more carbon dioxide than we breathed in. It's inverse to oxygen. So as the oxygen percent, as you noticed, went down with each breath, which is because the total amount of oxygen is going down with each breath, the amount of carbon dioxide is going up. Not much. There's not much CO2 in the room. That's how many liters of CO2 would be in a room this size without breathing, which means it's 0.039%. You remember that percentage from the pie chart you saw earlier. But as soon as we start breathing, that percentage starts going up. Now, not a problem until that gets too high. According to the graphic right here, once we hit 1% of carbon dioxide in the room, we start seeing drowsiness. Or we start experiencing drowsiness. Okay, I'm going to go find that real quick. We're going to figure out how many breaths it takes. Okay, I think I found it. It looks like it takes 2,955 breaths. Now remember, that's how many breaths each of us takes in the room. This is 29 people in the room, but each of us has to take that 2,955. So make a note of that number as we go through the rest of this video. 2,955 breaths to experience drowsiness. All right, next up, according to this infographic, is 3%. 3%, we have mild narcosis, we start feeling drunk, reduced hearing, interesting, and increased heart rate and blood pressure, which I'm assuming means that the body is trying to deal with those increased levels by flushing them more. Okay, I'm going to go find 3%. Okay, looks like I found it. Looks like after 12,119 breaths, we will feel mild narcosis, reduced hearing, increased heart rate, and blood pressure. Okay, make a note of that number because you're going to need that for the next questions. All right, one last one here. Dizziness, confusion, headache, shortness of breath. This is at 5%. I'm going to go find that one for us. All right, looks like I found it. 41,951 breaths each of us would have to take. All right, make a note of that number. That's for, what do you say it was? Shortness of breath, dizziness, confusion, headache. All right, do the next few questions and keep reading.